Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we met back up with Betlug and kind of got information that the original plan with the White Arsite wasn't going to quite work because while we could bring their souls back, it wouldn't bring their memories and personality back as well. So they need to come up with another solution. So we came back to Tataru to kind of report in, and Estinian showed up, and he gave us a report on exactly, we went through a whole Echo flashback, where we found out what happened with him and Gaius, and their escape from the Imperial Palace. And then we kind of got some scenes showing the aftermath of the Emperor's death, and the chaos ensuing in Garlemald, and some foreshadowing about some other potential threats that may be showing up. So, that's where we are at. So, and that kind of finished off like one of the first extension of the main story quest, the 5.1 patch as they call it. And so we'll be moving into the next extension of the main story, and we're going to keep on working on it. And so to do that, we're going to be talking to Kryl here and figuring out what is the next step. So, let's go ahead and get started. Kryl is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. That's easy, a picture of Raubon. Ayame, what a pleasant surprise. Really? You have come to inquire after the Archons. Fear not, Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. You mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Ah, Maxima. Ah, Yame. It has been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Alden, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news? Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Alden has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all this. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Alright then. Alamegan quarter it is. I find it easier to fly around in here. Alright, there's Maxima and Kryl. Commander Alden awaits us in the Royal Palace, if you would follow me. It would seem to be Gaius. And Entourage.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight. But to me, his description seemed anything but. And upon further investigation, I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals? With which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed. Few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandanis, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
I guess it does make some sense, considering that the Ascians were involved in both Allag and Garlemald, that they would know how to build an Ultima weapon and pass on that knowledge, potentially. So, let's go ahead and talk to Kryl here. Alright, as ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. Okay. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous, yes. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Alright. Alright, I take it you're ready to return to the first? I guess I am. Then I want to ask that you appraise the others of recent events here in the source, namely Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them, Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Ayame. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Alright, so we're headed off to the Crystarium and to report in to the Crystal Exarch and the other Scions about what the situation is. I'll just run. 'Cause, I mean, the shard's just right there. Alright, talk to the gatekeep, head on into the ocular. And let's talk to the Exarch. You come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you two have been making good use of your time. More or less. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be appraised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source? A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Eorzea and Becklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
Ah, Lena.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
Alright. Well, let's go find out what the issue is. So we'll leave them to that. Alright, we'll talk to Alphino because that's who we need to talk to. Alright, I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena? Yes, we can leave Eorzea and Y'shtola to work on that project. Alright, where exactly? Oh, she's just right there. We have little time, so I'll be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. Really? A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others? Oh, just bumped that. Alright, that will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater, a simple task for a guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes. However harmless they may seem, my men would do well to learn from your example. Alright. Let's be about it then. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. Alright then. A straggler Sin Eater. Or at least, it appears to be a straggler Sin Eater. But I think we're at the end of the episode, so we will pause there, and then when we come back, we will join Lena at Fort Job and see what this is all about. Alright, so for now, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.